Hey, Dave Lacalio at HeadGames Motorworks. Today we're going to talk about the B58 valve job. Check it out. All right, so everybody thinks that you can just put a 5-angle or 4-angle valve job and it just works. Well, actually, it's the right angles that really make a difference. As you can see here, there is tons and tons of valve jobs that we have or tried, and they all have these different angles, and they're just not all created equal. So how do you know what the right valve job is? Well, you really don't. It's a trial and error situation, and what we do is we valve job something and we stick it on the flow bench and we test it. We'll blend it, test it, because even blending can sometimes hurt a valve job. A valve job is actually the most important part of this whole thing. You get it right and it has big gains. You get it wrong and it just kills it and you'll never get it back. So what Matt's doing here, Matt is valve jobbing it. He's gonna lay it all. Now, there is different seat and guide machines that will put all the valve job in separate angles, and we have one that's a form cutter and it's putting it all at the same time. All right, so now it's valve jobbed. We're gonna throw it on the flow bench. We got to assemble it, but I wanted to show you something first. So if you see right here, there is a little ledge right here. Now, in some valve jobs, if we remove this ledge, it can actually hurt flow. And most people would look at this like, oh, it has to be totally smooth, and you want to get rid of this right here. But in some instances, this will actually hurt it. So we're going to actually flow bench it before and after blending this in. The intake side needs nothing. It's pretty blended in. We don't have to do anything. Now, one thing you'll notice is we don't use a radius. Radius valve jobs do not work. I don't care who you are, what you say. I have yet to see one that outflows a good old couple angles. To clarify, I have actually seen the radius valve jobs do flow better, but I've never seen one run better. So you can't always believe everything that the flow bench says. All right, so this is what I'm talking about, where the valve job kind of dictates everything in this. So the head picked up a very strong 30 to 10 to 30 CFM on the intake side, and we actually lost on the exhaust side between 1 and 150 lift, but then it picked up between 10 and 15 CFM throughout the rest of the range. Why am I okay with losing on the bottom end? Because during overlap, both valves are going to be open, and the best thing you can have is to kind of kill the CFM on the exhaust valve so that way it doesn't contaminate the intake. So that's a good thing. Now we're going to go into the porting room. I'm going to do the combustion chamber. I'm going to blend the valve job in. We're going to flow it in between those two times. I'm not going to show all that, but I'll show you the end results and we'll check it out. Here's a little explanation. You'll see here, this is one we did. Here is stock. Now, stock, you'll see how there's a lot of hot spots. Now, there's like a ledge here, there's a hot spot here, and it's very tight and really sharp. And now, they say these things are here for the DI, and I guess, a lot of the DI stuff is for startup and emissions, but we don't need that where we're going, so we blended all that in. Now, I didn't make the chamber bigger per se. I just softened all of, like I shaped this. So you can see here, I shaped this, and I shaped around the spark plug. Now, the spark plug is very important to note because on the S55 BMWs, we see a lot of cracks. They go from the spark plug to the valve seats. This is a very common issue. Now, it never causes an issue where you have to wreck the head, but it also is very detonation prone if it causes misfires and stuff because they have this stuff so sharp and the spark plug sits out really far. And the other part of this is it's going to blend the combustion chamber into the valve job. So it's going to blend it right into the top angle of the valve job. All right, I hope you guys have liked all the R&D process we've done on the B58 so far. We're ready to go. We flow tested everything, and now it's time to digitize. Digitize means that the CNC is going to probe all up into the cylinders, intake, exhaust, combustion chamber. It's going to make a map of the port, and we are going to be ready to cut, and we're going to show that too. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Toodles.